Hello Trophy Hunters, Tanya here and welcome back to the channel. So the new PS Plus tier lists have been active for a couple of weeks now, and this has basically revolutionised the way that PS Plus works. So you have 3 different tiers that you can subscribe to. There is the essential one, which is basically the standard PS Plus. So that gives you your free monthly games, your cloud saves and like online gameplay and things. You have the extra tier, which also allows you access to the PS4 and PS5 game catalogue. And then you have the premium tier, which gives you access to cloud streaming, which lets you play PS3 games, as well as the classic catalogue on top of the PS4 and PS5 catalogue. So basically it combines PS Plus and PS Now together, and I'm not going to put words in Sony's mouth, but it's basically to try and rival the Game Pass. Even though personally I do think at the moment PS Plus is, way below par, but it's still a cool service. I was originally on the fence about upgrading, but it was a 20 quid for me to upgrade for the rest of the year, so I thought I may as well give it a shot. And I'm quite glad I did, because I've been able to play a whole bunch of games that I've had my eye on for a while and just didn't get around to trying. So that's been good. And what's more exciting is I did actually get my first new PS Plus Platinum, so that is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, which game has earned the glorious title of my first new PS Plus Platinum, you may ask? Well, that goes to none other than The Raven. For those of you who haven't heard of the game before, The Raven is an episodic point-and-click detective puzzle game which is set in the 1960s. Now, although the description of the game is a bit of a mouthful, trust me, that is the hardest thing about it. So the game starts just after a robbery at the British Museum where a priceless ruby has been stolen. Now, if the rumours are to be believed, it is a long dead master thief known as the Raven who is behind it all. You play as a Swiss police constable named Anton Zellner, who has a fondness for detective novels and a desire to prove himself to Inspector Legrand, the man responsible for apprehending the Raven all those years ago. The game's action takes place across 3 separate chapters, each around a couple of hours long, and it tasks the players with various activities like lockpicking, combination puzzles, and interrogations. There are 35 trophies in the Raven to unlock, and none of them are overly difficult. There are the standard trophies for triggering certain story points or for finishing an episode. Plus, you can earn up to 2 bonus trophies per episode for completing them with a high enough detective score. And this can easily be attained by simply not using the in-game hints, which is pressing square. And then there are the fun miscellaneous trophies, such as playing with a dog 3 times, which, let's be honest, I would have done anyway, listening to the radio, or lighting 5 matches. Everything can be achieved in one playthrough, but if you are not playing with a guide on your first time, it could be easy to miss something. But don't worry, because there is a chapter select after you finish the game, and you can quite easily speed through the chapters to get to the point you need to be at. So although some trophies could be classed as missable, I wouldn't really deem them that way. There's nothing overly difficult or grindy in the list, and I feel like in general there's a really good mix of trophies. The Platinum is currently sitting at just over 40%, which I think is pretty high considering there's only around 5,000 people who own the game. Now, when The Raven first released, it didn't actually review very well, so I wasn't really sure what to expect about this going in. The synopsis just sounded so intriguing though that I had to give it a try, and I am so glad that I did. The Raven was an absolute delight to play. Now, I'm usually not a fan of puzzle games because I just do not have the patience for them, but the ones in this game were so varied and so fun that I just had a great time solving them. Even though they were never anything too mentally taxing, I did feel like a real detective working through the case, and it just made the game that so much more immersive. I also felt like the pacing in this game was excellent. You were never left doing one thing for too long that it got boring, but you did get to do enough of the activity that you could appreciate it before the story pulled you forward. Now, one of the biggest criticisms that this game faced were about the controls and just the way it handled in general, but that's not something that I would agree with. I didn't have any issues with the game, and I certainly didn't find it clunky. One thing that would be nice though would be a run button, especially when doing trophy cleanup around certain map areas. But that's not really a fault of the game, and it's more just a sign of my own impatience. This is actually the second game by King Art and THQ Nordic that really exceeded my expectations. The first one, if you're curious, is Black Mirror, which is a really cool little point-and-click horror game, and this is also available to play on the upgraded PS Plus if you're interested. Overall though, I really loved my time with Raven, and I would highly recommend it. The whole classic detective vibe really does it for me. Plus, the characters are unique and multidimensional, the story is incredibly engaging with plenty of twists and turns to keep the player at the edge of their seat, and it was just a really fun game. It took me about a day to platinum, and it was a day well spent. I would definitely give the Raven a 9 out of 10. So that is my platinum experience for the Raven. Have you played it? Let me know. Also, if you have upgraded your PS Plus tier lists, let me know which tier you went for and if you picked out any games to play it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you all in the very next video. Bye!